Hi there, my name is Jay, and here's what happened this week in Hearthstone. Really nothing majorly happened news related, but I'd like to talk to everybody about the Hearthstone player experience. Yesterday, while America was gorging on Thanksgiving turkey and watching football and hanging out, social media was in a bit of a frenzy over how some of the newest cards are absolutely broken and overpowered, balance is a mess, and then the discussion turned into a back and forth over how this person's comments on what cards should be nerfed and what changes should happen in the balance are completely wrong, and that this smaller group, their opinions don't matter because of what their experience is right now, and it was just a little bit messy. It's coming into a back and forth, and it's actually happening right now. So I took some time because there was no news, and I put a couple of notes in here. The biggest thing about this is the experience and opinions of each player group is valid and correct. That is a true statement. Everybody's opinion is absolutely correct of what's going on, okay, in terms of what they're dealing with. To go over a few of the player groups in my, outside of all of those different player groups, experience and viewpoint. Okay, there's a super casual player. They play 2-3 times a week. They may make it to gold rank, but they're, still lower on the rank ladders. And then they probably do not have all the cards. They're not playing and invested in as much as some other players. Also now, on the other side of the spectrum, we have high legend players. So they're reaching legend each and every month. They're absolutely playing daily, and they're playing a lot of games. They're spending hours each day on this game, and they have all of the cards. Their experience is different from those that are just casually playing the game. Okay, and then we have the elite, the Masters Tour pro players. They've been playing for hours on end. They're adjusting the meta. They're making the meta happen with theory crafting, and everybody's looking towards their opinions when a new expansion comes out to get an idea of what's going to be good and what's not going to be good. And if they are in the Masters Tour, there's a lot of pressure there. There's an immense amount of work that it takes to, go through the motion of making sure that they hit those goals to be in the Masters Tour. Only a few players in the world made this. There is a lot of pressure for them to do this. They're dealing with it right now because the championships is on December 16th and 17th. The meta just completely changed. There's 140 some odd new cards. There's a lot of pressure going on right now because everything is on the line, and this is what they're dealing with. So their experiences are absolutely different and just as valid as the casual player. And then there's everyone else that doesn't fit into those boxes and those player groups. They're in there. They might hit legend once in a 3-month period. They might have times where they don't play for 2 or 3 months and then come back and play every day. Everybody's experience is absolutely different. Vicious Syndicate did their weekly information, their report, and if you look at the number of games played by each and every one of these groups, if you will, bronze, silver, and gold, they are playing the most amount of games with 290,000 games. Remember, this is a week. This is not a full breakdown. This is just the numbers that Vicious Syndicate can grab. Top 1K legend, 38,000. That's a huge difference in numbers of games played by those groups. Again, doesn't make it any less valid. Looking at some of these cards that are the outliers and ones that brought the discussion to the forefront this week was Azurite Snake. Azurite Snake and Saloon Brewmaster, the other different techs that you can do, make the game for some absolutely unenjoyable and the worst thing in the world, and this card is a mess and it shouldn't be in there. I get it, and I understand it. For some that could be playing the game 5 hours a day, they're going to see this experience a lot more than a casual player that sees it maybe once or twice a week. It's all about perspective there. Same thing with this one. This is another contentious card that everybody's talking about. And the reason for those discussions today and yesterday was Blind Eye Sharpshooter is just able to beat everybody up on turn 3 or turn 4. It's unable to be countered or what have you, and it's making some of the groups a little angry. But for those that are not as invested as, let's say, like the high legend players or what have you, their experiences are way different than that. And this one, when this first came out, Reno Lone Ranger, it said that it was just going to be broken and the worst experience, and people were saying that this was an overpowered card and absolutely deserved to be nerfed into existence. I myself thought that this was a busted card at first. It's not that bad. I'm not playing as much as high legend players. I'm not playing as much as, rank 1 legend players or pros, so I don't see this a lot, but I have not seen this be like, okay, it's broken and needs to be cleaned up right away. The main thing about this is all of these voices have to be heard when Team 5 works on balancing. How do you make it fun for one group and that alienates another? You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that everybody playing the game, regardless of how many games they're playing, are having a fun time. And then you'll get a lot of conversations online and, just through friend groups or whatnot, talking about this card is broken for this reason. This card is broken for some reason. And it's just because you are right does not mean the other person is wrong. That experience from that player says that I don't like this card for this reason and the card shouldn't exist or what have you. That doesn't mean that the person next to them that has an absolute opposite experience of that card or feelings for that card, it's not invalid. It's not wrong. And we all need to take into account that these player ideas and suggestions that are coming through does not mean that that individual is just misunderstood or incorrect. That player experiencing that card at that time is absolutely the correct experience for that player. It's just a balancing act. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when the balance changes finally goes through. In closing, everybody should be having a good time with this game. I just want everybody to remember, just because you are right does not mean the other person is wrong, except for my wife, because she's just a mage main. She plays no other classes, and she thinks that all the other classes are terrible and what have you. And don't worry, she won't even see this.
I heard that.
I gotta go.